that out. Yeah, I'm still having a lot of trouble with the sound. So I don't know whether you can hear me or not. So I'll just go across to this and we'll start the chat. Okay, so I'm going to move across to the, and I'll turn this heater down because I'm boiling in here now. So, what have we got for today? Well, we've got this other radio here, the Panasonic, which I've done the other 2 caps in it, and yeah, so it sounds sort of interesting. Yeah, so I've got this little Panasonic here, which we did last week, and it sounds interesting, to say the least. I did the final 2 caps in it, as all the screws and everything fall down. So I've just cleaned the bench here a bit. I'll just let you hear it. Notwithstanding all the interference.
Rather ungenerously at this stage, I suppose. He's got his head there high in the air and screwed sideways, going a bit ungenerously from Vein.
Oh, that's the band switch.
And point of conflict is far too good. Beat home LeBeau, Mazzetti. Back on the rails, Chase and Wins was 4th in, but never seemed comfortable in front. Followed further back, me and Tom. The Flames done naught. Vein Universe only beat one to the post, and that's Token King, who pulled up there a fair way behind its rivals. Number 4, point of conflict. The winner here of race number.
Yes, so it sounds rather muffled, and I'm not sure whether that is because of the last capacitor I changed. It's got 47 on it, which I replaced, but I suspect it might be a 4.7. And I've got a couple of other little Panasonics like that as well, that you need 4.7s or 0.47s at very low voltages. So what we're going to do, I'll just check that we've got vision working. I'm pretty sure it's not, the vision is working, but the sound is, yeah, I just can't work out the sound. I'm not quite sure what the deal is with that, but okay, we'll put this one away and we'll get out the other ones. So last week I spoke about the National Panasonic lineup for 1977 with ABBA doing the advertising. I do have one of those somewhere, and don't think I've got one of these ones. Not quite sure what the difference between them is, maybe the size. I also have one of these floating around somewhere. So these are all AM FM ones. I've got one of these somewhere. No, it should be up here, up on this bench, but because I use it for testing oscillators. I have one of these I used to have. I don't know what happened to it. I don't have any of these ones. My friend has one of these ones sitting in his garage in a box somewhere. I've never seen one of these ones. I've got one of these ones, and we're going to work on this afternoon because this is my daily or overnight driver. I use it all the time, and yeah. So, and then there's this one, which I also have. This is the one which I've seen on eBay for about $10,000. Someone in Canada was selling it. I've never seen one of these world time displays. I had a clock radio of some description. I don't think it was this one. Yeah, it was this one up here, which I had. And yeah, that was the better. I'm not quite sure what the difference between the two is. Or the three. Probably just cost. So there's the girls. Then we've got cassette recorders. So these were still being made up until about 3 years ago. These ones for schools and other things. I never saw one of those ones. I saw quite a few of these ones. I never saw this one. It's got the strange dial at the front there, so yeah. This one is okay. Is it this one? FM AM. I think. I can't remember which one a friend had, and he threw it away. Oh no, I fixed one of these recently. One of those ones, and it sounded quite good. I've also fixed one of these ones. Never seen one of these ones, although that's probably got a pretty good speaker in it. That one I never saw. A friend had one of these and he threw it in the rubbish because it suddenly stopped working. And I never saw one of those. I saw a few of those. I know I saw all of these in the shops, obviously. This one I'm not sure about. And someone's parents had one of those. Oh, I don't know about the cassette decks. They're mostly sold with those big 3-in-1 type, or those big sort of console separate speakers, huge things. Yeah, these ones were made for quite a long time, and they disappeared pretty quickly when the Sony Walkman came out. So this is just a mono Walkman type thing. I don't know about the mini cassette recorder, micro cassette recorder, and I didn't see any of these dictating machines, nor the car radios or CBs. I saw quite a few of these things, which went under the dash and you connected them in with the radio, existing radio. I don't know about the speakers. Yeah. So, hopefully we've got sound. Have we got sound? Is anybody there? So, yeah, I'm not quite sure that we've got sound. So I can't monitor it. That's the thing. I'll try again on my phone, otherwise I'll have to put the racing on and then check on the lounge room TV. You can't search in the phone app really easily. Yes, it looks like the sound's working. I can hear myself coughing. Okay. So we'll stop that for a moment. Right. So I'm assuming there is sound. No, I should have got a drink before starting this, shouldn't I? So, here is the 17 transistor jobby. Which we're going to work on today. I've recapped the power supply in this, I think. So we'll put that down. Oh, this must go inside. Yep. So I picked this up at a deceased estate. So it's got a 12 speaker in it, whatever that means, 12 speaker. Needs a bit of a clean up on that dial, but yeah, it works really very well. It's got aerial inputs up there, external antennas, So FM, you connect to both, and AM, that's the aerial and that's the earth. So I'm not quite sure what you're supposed to do if you want both. So it's got a phono output and a earphone. So the first thing we'll do is pull off the knobs, which I think are going to be pretty difficult. No, that one's come off easily. I haven't done much radio work this week. I've mostly been working on getting the car ready for its roadworthy because I let the registration lapse. It's on the Rover. Just find my spoons. Oh, looking for that. I think this is one off of the Astors which I've been restoring. So I'll put that somewhere safe. Where have the spoons gone? Do have a couple of spoons in there, teaspoons. Why has that come off of the rail? And here. Ah, yep. So I'll lay this down on its back. Let me see if we can these under here. This might be hard stuck on, so I have had this apart before. Yeah, this needed a bit of encouragement. Sort of plastic inside, a metal ring, and then metal over the top. Lots of muck on around the tuning. Maybe I haven't had this apart. So it's raining quite a bit outside. In fact, it's been raining all day. Had a couple of flood emergency notifications. So it's been really nice up until, well, not so much, well, yes, nice. Clear weather, not a cloud in the sky up until, there's always one, isn't there? Up until earlier this week, or not even so much earlier this week, up until probably Friday. We had a bit of rain on Friday, but nothing to speak about. And then today, it's become very wet. Assuming these little screws here will do the business. No, too far. That's it. So it's good we're getting lots of rain, because we desperately need it. It's quite a bad drought down here. Everything is bone dry, and yeah, the grass is all brown still from the summer, and it just didn't green up and didn't grow, so it must be bad. Come on, this is the problem with these lazy Susans when you're doing screws sideways. Move everything. Yeah, is this going to come off? Yep. No screws in the battery area. That's interesting. And I'll find a different screwdriver for down in here. Is there one in there? No. That screw's missing. Interesting. Right, let's see if we can get this off easily. This is very easy to take apart. It's all sticky in here. I think this has been in a smoker's house. So, red at the bottom, green at the top. Although they're two different connectors, so that's safe. So it's the power, and this is the aerial. Oh, yep. So, yeah, this is all sticky and gunky around here. Quite nicely constructed, actually. Made in Japan, of course, where all the best stuff was made from the late 60s. Now, what have we got in here? We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 capacitors. It's going to be quite a big job by the looks of it. So that is a 1000 at 10 volts. I don't know that I've got one of those. I've got quite a few thousands, but not at 10 volts. 220. Probably another 220, is it? Yeah, these look fairly common values. 220, yeah. So we'll do I'll just test this one because it's got red writing on it as opposed to all the other plain Panasonic caps. So this one is more critical. So it's probably in the FM section. Okay. Right. So let's get started on this. Probably don't need, oh yeah. Yes, so the registration on the Rover ran out around about Christmas time, and because I couldn't do anything by then, I just didn't pay it because I just didn't know what was going on. And when a car runs out of registration, you have to take it for roadworthy and then take it to the Vic Roads office, and they then inspect it again, even though it might only be like 10 minutes after it's come out of the workshop. And if they give it the nod, you can register it again. But it does need a roadworthy certificate to be done on it. So I have bought 4 brand new tyres, Michelin's, as opposed to, I think they were Goodyears on it. And they were quite noisy. And they just weren't gripping anymore. They were quite old, because the previous owner hadn't driven it for probably 2 years himself. So yeah, and they weren't quite roadworthy. All right, let's. Is this going to come out easily? I'm going to watch the dial cord. So I don't really want to re-string this one. Oops, just knocked all the old capacitors which I was going to show you over, so they'll have to not be done. Now, that's all glued in there. It's a bit better. And of course, no vehicle tester is going to be impressed if you send in a filthy car. And this the Rover had become quite filthy over the last 6 months or so. Hadn't washed it since the previous April. Yeah. July, I should say. I think I washed it in July last year. Now, something is stopping this coming up very far. And it's not the... Okay. All right. Okay. Well, that's interesting. How does that work? Is this a friction clutch or something? Oh, I see. That goes... Does it go round? The string go round or something? Anyway, let's start at the beginning. So we'll do, oh, that's filthy. That is really grotty. So we'll take that off for a start, and we'll clean out around there a little bit. Yeah, that's really grotty, yucky. Go straight in the bin. Yeah, this is quite sticky. So must have been in a smoker's house or something. Now what does that red dot there mean? So that's the band switch. Is it? Oh no, this is the band switch here. So let's bring this around a bit so you can get the light. So this is the band switch. So that must be just an indicator which, oh yeah. So this goes through those windows there on the front in the metal, and this must somehow just go in here. Not sure how this reconnects. Okay, so we won't move this too much. Oh, I see, it goes in between these two here by the looks of it. Okay. Now we'll do, what's this one? So that is a something or other at 51. Is it a 1 microfarad? Yeah, 1 microfarad at 50 volts, which is quite high actually. And yeah, it's in the power supply, I think. Maybe not. So we'll go and get one at 50. Assuming that I have a 1 at 50. One at 50. No. Well, I don't have a 1 at 50. Really going to have to order some more capacitors, I think. No, 1's at 50. So we will do. So what I plan to do with this is just work my way up. Now this one is, and that is all waxed in for some reason. This one is probably another 1 at 50. one at 50, yeah. And this will be a one at 50, 47 at 6.3. And this one is a 47 at 6.3. So we can do these two. We can't do those two or this one. So we'll do these two. It's not humming or really distort or anything like that, but I can tell it's getting very tired. What did I say? 47 at 63 volts, was it? $47 at 63. Have some of those. 47 at 16. Right. This will be a bit awkward because the wires are soldered in here and the meter is soldered in there, so I'm going to have to do it this way. Transformer. This one here. That's the transistor. Next one along is transformer, transistor. Where's the... Up there, is it? No, it's too far up. Right. That one there looks a little bit high up for the... Yeah, sort of in line with the pins. Sort of quite close to that transistor, but there's nothing on the back. Which is that low down, but we'll try this. That's definitely not it. It's the transistor. No? Can't be. It's got to be the transistor. Yeah. Well, there are. I wonder if that's it. No. One of these has got to be it. Is that it? Aha! Finally found it. Right. Gotcha. Now, is this a 47? Yep, 47 at 6.3. $47 at 16. Yeah, so you just can't get 6.3s in that size anymore. Right. Right, so the next one should be much easier to do. I always do that. Come on. Good. Just bend the legs. A little bit. So these are much smaller than the ones that are coming out. One minor problem with these Kemet ones, capacitors, they're actually very stiff wire and they're pretty hard to bend. Now I want a flat screwdriver. This one will do. Come on, bend your bugger. It'll hold it in place, I think. No? Come on. It's a bit better. Might as well make a neat job with it because it's such a good radio. Probably should have the other camera on, shouldn't I? They can see what I'm doing. Let's adjust this one up. And we'll go over to camera 4. Yeah, that's better. So you can see what I'm doing now. Yep. A bit more. Redo all these ones which I botched up. Good. Now, what I really want to do is test this as I go along, and so what I'm going to do is go and get a drink, and then I will go and oh, no, it's camera 2. So we'll do this, wrong camera. Yeah. So I'm going to go and get a drink, and then I'll plug the power supply back in and we'll test it as we go along. Lots of flood emergencies this afternoon. That's the 5th one. Back in a moment. And I'll also go to the loo while I'm at it. Turn the heater off. Okay, let's continue on our merry way. Now, what are we up to? Oh yes, the power supply. Now, am I going to be able to bridge it across, I wonder? Where did I do with the back? Oh, it's down there. Yes, I think so. Now, this is going to be quite dangerous. Yep. That's a square one. Geez, that's old. Another square one. No plug on that one. Yeah. I thought I had a couple of there's a round one, and it's nice and short too. Knew I had this one around somewhere. So we'll do this. Interesting. So we cut out there behind the big plate. Okay. So we'll do this. So that's the positive. And a red one. It's flexible. Oh, bought a couple of packets of these clip leads, and yeah, they're as stiff as. I don't like them much. So do this one. Right. Okay, we can turn that over like that. Come on, you've got to go in there. Yes, these have a little switch inside them, and which tells it, why is that not fitting in there? It's strange. Different pin width. Yeah, one's, oh I see, one's a big pin and one's a small pin. Oh, okay. So I'm going to have to go and get the cord off of the other one, the cord. This is not very organised, is it, Andrew? So I shall return in a minute. I have to go and get the cord. Doesn't look like it's polarized on the actual plug. Oh, this is so sticky. Yeah, it is. Yeah, different sort of plug. So we'll do the red to the positive. So going to touch. Yep. So red to the positive, and this one. Can we get the? No, we can't get the. Insulation off of the plug. don't want to destroy it. Right, that might work. And bring that right down. So it's not touching anything important. Hold on to that bit of plastic and we'll turn it on. Yep. So, still working good. Okay. Now, what's next? It's a 0.1, that's a 1 microfarad. So we'll do in this power supply. Now I'll have a look for 1,000 at 10 volts. 1,000 at 10 volts. So what have we got? Now we have 480, 1,000 at 50, 1,000 at 35. They're huge. 1,000 at 50. And that one is really huge. This is that's a 390. And what have we got up here? All the high voltage ones. Yeah. 1,050. Yeah, this is not going to work. Yeah. So, leave the 1,000 for the time being. And what have we got? Okay, so we're going to bring over to this one. Is that the right one? Yep. Yeah. That'll do. Yeah. So I can't do this one because these are the smallest thousands I've got it, and this is 1,000 at 50, and it's about twice as high as it needs to be. This is only 10 volt one, so that's going to be quite hard to get one in that size, I think. So what have we got here? And that is waxed up to the hilt. Right, what did I do with that screwdriver? There it is. So we'll just wax this from each other. And we'll see what this one is. Uh, 50 volts, 1 microfarad. Wouldn't you know it? Yep. And this one is a 100 microfarad at 6.3. Do I have any of those? I used to have a lot of these little transistor radio type capacitors of the low voltage, but I've used them all up. So what did I say? 100 at 6.3. 510, 470, 160, 390, 39. Ah, 100 at 6.3. Any of these left? Oh yes, yes. Okay, so we can do this one. Now because this is such a good radio, I'm not going to put J-car caps in it. So I'll get this going, or do as many of these as I can. So we'll just check that again. 100 at 6.3. So this is 100 at 6.3. The problem is you've got to order quite a few caps from Mauser or DigiKey or whatever. To get the discount on or the free shipping. Otherwise, the shipping costs an absolute fortune. Now, that one is, so that will be that one. Why aren't you melting? There we go. So they use pretty good solder in these. It's still stuck to the so that is the positive and the negative goes down. Yep. So it's got positive and negative on there. Is that wax? Oh, I see. Right, it wasn't doing what it was supposed to do because there's a lot of wax underneath it. And yeah. So much wax on this. Just it'll hold in place. Not sure whether they were automating the soldering on these at this stage. They may, well, I guess they would have had to have put the components in, but whether they solder bathed these, I'm not sure. Good. Okay. Okay, let's try this again before we move over to the other side of the board. Which we can do this one as well, can't we? And this one is a 220 6.3, I think. Right. We use this one. I've got plenty of these. So I've got these larger ones which I bought for an amplifiers, and yeah, these ones, which are again 220 of these. Yeah, these are only 85 centigrade, which is fine. Now, So this one down here is in line with that one, and there's nothing between it and that. So it should be this one. Any luck? Come on. Out you come. Yep. Yep. Ooh, this one looks really bulgy. 220 at 6.3. And what did I do with that cap? 220 at 16. Okay. Good. Really must get a new brass cleaning thing. Right, let's test it again. Make sure it's still operational. Yep. Right, next. So that's 1, 1, 1, 1 and whatever. So we're over to this side of the board, which is going to be a little bit more difficult to get the tools down inside. So it's down in the case. Although these look like just ones again. One, this is a 6.220. Yeah, 220. 4.7 is that? Yeah, 4.7, which I don't have, and a something at 16 volts. So 10 or 100? 10. So we'll do this one down here. Which camera are we on? Yeah, we'll do this one down here. So that is just 1, 2, whatever it is there. So 3 and actually this will be quite easy. I can do it like this, can't I? So is it 1, 2, 3? Come on. Oh, would help if the soldering iron hadn't gone to sleep. Yeah. So I'm just going to do these last two capacitors. It's 5:30 and about my dinner time. So what I'll do is I'll just do these last two capacitors, as I say, and then I'll put this back together again after noting down what capacitors had to be bought. And yeah, there we go. Much easier when there's temperature. There we go. So that's what, 6.3 volts. Yeah. Now what's this? 100 at 6.3. What's this one? 220 at 16. So we'll do this nice, pretty gold one. Forgot which brand these were. These gold ones. So yeah, it doesn't have the brand on them. 85 PET. It'll be a 1, 2, I guess. It's going to be a 1 and a 1. This is full of ones. I just don't think they're ones. That's a 4.7, isn't it? That's a 4. Oh, that's a 10. So we can do that one, and that's a 4.7. That's really covered in wax. So I didn't want that to move. Yeah, that wire has been put over that. Oh no, these are Nichicons. Yeah. Sit there so I can bend you down. Yep. Okay. Now. No. Okay. I put one of these backwards. Oh no, it's the wrong yellow one. Got two down here. So we'll put that out the way. Good. Oh, our little light still working down there. And this little neon thing is a lightning arrestor, I guess, for the aerial. What did I say? 100. No, 10. 10 at 16. 4.7 and 4.7. So we can, this will be the last one down here. And yeah, then we can button it up. Now these are really tiny, these ones. So yeah, might put one of these bigger ones in. So they're really fiddly to put in. So what brand is this? Elna's again. Elna's are pretty good these days. The grey ones from the early 70s, yeah, not so much. Late 60s, early 70s, they've all gone bad, pretty much. I looked up some belts for cassette decks and cassette recorders because I'm going to start on those. And geez, they're expensive. And they've got a my supplier in the good old USA. He's charging quite a bit these days. So he's probably bringing the stuff in from China and repackaging it. So that is second from bottom. So be that one and that one. Try and get this one out. You're almost out. Right, you can be turned off. And unplugged. So I've left this thing on many a time before. Oh, you're just hanging there loose. Yeah. Okay. Out with the old, in with the new.
Don't just turn into a ball on the lead. Yep. Okay. And what did I do with my clippers? It doesn't look too good, that blob. Looks quite dull. Maybe not. That one isn't great either. That's better. That's better. Okay. Yeah, we'll try this for last time, then we can turn off the soldering iron and put all the plugs and everything back. Okay. Sounds good. I'm not going to align this today because we've still got a few capacitors to do. In fact, we've got probably half of them to go. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 out of the 14 to go. Yeah. So I'll put this back in its case. Hopefully the tuning gang will line up. Doesn't want to go. Stopping it. There we go. Haven't got quite enough lead, so I'm going to have to undo this, unfortunately. So it's got Loctite on it. There's my little pliers. These will do. There we go. That should allow us to maneuver things a bit more. So much. There we go. Good. Now I'll just put a couple of screws in. A lot of screws in this. I always go backwards with self-tapping screws into plastic. And then you'll find that the screw finds its original thread. Oh, yeah, we've got tuning. So that's good. And don't over tighten them, otherwise you'll strip the plastic. This one up here. Where did that go? Where did I? Oh, there it is. Underneath the wire. We've got this one. These are such a pleasure to work on. Plenty of room. Everything laid out nice and neatly. Good quality circuit boards. I think this one fell out of there. Where have we got the screwdriver? No. What did I do with that? Alright. Now we'll test it again. Yuck. I just wiped this off when I bought it from the estate. It was too big. Up into my little screwdriver. No. No. All right. Never have too many screwdrivers. This one go down into there. Yep. Yeah, nice resounding click when it bedded in. Good. And that isn't. Is that, yeah, they're the right screws. I grabbed before when I did them. Why am I just going? I'm missing the screw. How weird. Use this screwdriver to get them out. Just pushing them sideways. Okay, I'll do this after. Now, okay. So, I'm going to give this a bit of a clean before I put the knobs back on again, but Okay, why are we not getting any stations?
Professional ruck there, wasn't there? Professional rucking.
We'll have another stoppage, but North Melbourne have...
The tuning hasn't engaged properly. Because that should be right up here. It's 107.9.
What would it actually?
So 31 years ago, Damien,
Yeah.
parliamentary inquiry
So
into
it's
whistleblowing for the first time in Australia said we need whistleblowing
2
laws
megahertz
and we
off.
need a body to oversee and enforce those laws.
But don't listen to anything right down here. Although there are stations down there from another area.
Report. You know, imagine tomorrow if your listeners think that they're being underpaid at work, they can call up the Fair Work Ombudsman. If they think they're being discriminated,
Well, that sounds a lot better.
Rights Commission. If they want to blow the whistle, they've got very few places to go. That's why it's really critical that the government sets up a whistleblower protection authority to oversee and enforce these laws to support whistleblowers. We're seeing them rolled out in other countries. In the US, there's been an equivalent for decades now. In Europe, in response to a really significant EU whistleblowing law introduced about 5 or 6 years ago, we've seen a number of...
Excellent. So, that one, I'll just have to put the screws back in and clean up. So I'll do that in a moment, but first I'll turn off the soldering iron and we'll unplug this now. Move this out the way. Now, next, well, I'll show you this first. Now, it's 2 minutes to 5, so that's pretty good timing. But I'll very quickly show you, 2 minutes to 6, I should say. So this one is another candidate for repair. So I'll just bring you down. Yeah, so this is another candidate for repair. The tuning is sort of skew whiff, so I don't know whether I can fix that. I've got another older model of this, but it was covered in mud, and it's full of mud inside. I showed you. I've got a couple more of these Panasonic ones. I think this is the one I showed you last time. And yeah, so these are all basically the same radio with variations, and the cabinet is obviously quite different, or modified over the years. This was the one which I said, or this one here was the one I said launched 1,000 million radios, but it was actually this one, and with a few, obviously different board inside, but they moved the tuning over to that side, moved the volume control up to there, and put a earphone there, but yeah, it was basically this shape, and it was ripped off no end. So I think this one's a bit earlier. This is quite a newish one in the scheme of things. This one is the most modern. It's probably about 1980, 85. It's a bit scratched up. Don't know whether it works or not. This is a really nice one. It's still got the Japanese national badge on it, National Panasonic, with the old Panasonic font on it. All transistor there. Nice tuning, very clear. And it's a 9-volt one. So I'll do this in a couple of weeks, I think. So I don't really listen to these ones, but it's nice to have them working. And I don't know whether they'll work or not. This one I picked up at a HRSA auction for nothing. This one, yeah, it's made in Japan. Gee, this stuff's sticky. Yep. So there's another variation on this one. So yeah, it's identical inside probably. Yeah. So next week I'm proposing to do a radio cassette, or start on it. And again, this is a daily listener. Not trip over that radio I've just completed. Yeah, oh, this is quite heavy, this one. So it's this one here. I don't know whether it was imported into Australia or not by someone who's come from overseas. Put this aerial down. They did sell them here, but I think they were shortwave. This one's a long wave. Not that long wave is of any use anymore, since they just recently, or about 2 weeks ago, or the 1st of June, I think it was, they turned off the long wave transmitter in Western England, I think it was, for BBC. So there's still probably the Irish one and maybe a couple in Europe, but yeah, long wave has died a slow death. Yeah, so this one works beautifully. It just needs a recap. Okay, that's the end of the stream. So thanks for tuning in. I know a couple of people have popped in and out. We've had 25 visitors, and yep. So we'll end it here, and I'll look forward to seeing you next week. Oh yes, it's a CF400L if you want to look it up. I think it's about 1973, 74, fairly early in terms of cassette recorders. Okay, so thanks for listening, and I'll see you next week. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do a normal video, but I'm trying to. Okay, see you later.